You can now buy the new RTX 4060. So if you want the new GPU and you want a good value PC overall that will not bottleneck it, so you get really good performance out of this system, you came to the right video. I will also give you my personal opinion on the RTX 4060 with alternatives, explaining everything as simple as possible, in case if you're a beginner, you get to understand what this system is capable of running. I gotta say, the reviews for the RTX 4060 are a bit of a mess right now, so I want to make everything as simple as possible. That being said, you will have the components of this PC build down below in the video description with every alternative that I will mention. Now, let's start. With the CPU, we have the AMD Ryzen 5 5600. This is a 6-core 12-thread processor that is great and I couldn't recommend it more. Honestly, on the budget level, this CPU is the best one by far, and if you want to get one from Intel, you can get the i5 12400F. However, it's going to be a bit more expensive for around the same performance, so I wouldn't recommend it, but you can feel free to go with Intel if that's what you want. Then for the CPU cooler, we have the Thermalright Assassin X 120. This one is a $20 CPU cooler that is going to be way more than enough for the Ryzen 5 5600, and you will be getting better temps with lower noise. However, you can get away with this stock cooler from AMD, so if you want to save around 20 bucks, just don't buy an aftermarket CPU cooler and you will be good to go. For the motherboard, we have the Gigabyte B550M DS3H Micro ATX motherboard. Nothing too special about this one, but it's $105 and it has everything that you need if you're a gamer, and especially if you're working with a tight budget. Then for the memory kit, we have the Silicon Power X-Power 16 gigs of RAM, 2x8 of DDR4 at 3200 MHz, CL16 memory. Now 32 gigs of RAM is really cheap at the moment, so if you want to go with 32 gigs of RAM, you always have the option, and I would recommend 32 gigs of RAM, especially if you want to do streaming, but I went with 16 gigs to get the best price for this system. But just so you know, for around 20 extra bucks, you can get 32 gigs and you will be getting a better experience. Then for the storage, we have the MSI M450 1TB of Gen 4 SSD going for just $38, which is a really good price for a Gen 4 SSD, and 1TB is the standard for gaming. If you ever need more, you can always upgrade down the line. Then the graphics card, and here is going to get messy. We have the RTX 4060 with 8 gigs of VRAM for $300. Now, my honest opinion is that it's not the best GPU out there, and I would recommend buying other graphics card for around the same price or cheaper. For example, the RX 6700 XT from AMD is only $10 more expensive, but it's way better in terms of rasterized performance, and you get 12 gigs of VRAM instead of 8 gigs, which is going to make a difference, especially at 1440p gaming on new AAA titles. And even if you want to go with NVIDIA, you can go with the RTX 3060 Ti. The PNY version is going for $275 on Best Buy. You end up saving $45 USD, and it has 8 gigs of VRAM as well, and it performs better. So you pay less and you get better performance from NVIDIA. So the only reason why I would buy the RTX 4060 it's if you care about the electricity bill. The RTX 4060 is really power efficient, so that's a pro there, and if you really care about that, then sure, go with the RTX 4060 and spend $300, or if you want DLSS 3.0 or frame generation, which you can take advantage of and get much higher FPS than the RTX 3060 Ti or the RX 6700 XT, but this is only available in a couple games, and on top of that, at the end of the day, is not rasterized performance. So if you got lost here, I would recommend the RTX 4060 either if you care about the electricity bill or you want the latest frame generation technology. I would buy the RTX 3060 Ti if you want a GPU from NVIDIA that's better in rasterized performance and you end up saving around 20 bucks or so. And I would buy the RX 6700 XT from AMD if you want a GPU that's faster for gaming, but also better for future AAA titles, especially at 1440p, because of those 12 gigs of VRAM that you get instead of 8 gigs. Just know that it's going to cost you around $10 to $30 extra if you want to go with the AMD alternative, which by the way, I recommend. Then for the case, we have the Montech X3 Mesh ATX mid-tower case. This one has 6 pre-installed RGB fans, a front mesh panel, honestly great airflow for just $60. I couldn't recommend it more. And last but not least, the power supply, we have the PVA Prestige 600 watt 80 plus gold power supply. This one is only going for $52, which is a really good price in today's market, which is really expensive for power supplies for some reason. But anyway, this is C-tier rated and 600 watts is all that you're going to need. Honestly, with the RTX 4060, you're not going to be drawing more than 400 watts, which is insanely efficient. So now let's talk about prices. The total price for the PC with the RTX 4060 is going to cost you around 735 bucks by the time that I'm recording this video. The one with the RX 6700 XT is going to cost you $744, and if you want to get it at the same price as the 4060 system, you can always take out the CPU cooler, stick with the stock one from AMD, and you get two PCs for the same price, but one of them has better performance. But just so you know, you won't be getting a better CPU cooler. And then the one with the RTX 3060 Ti is going to cost you $710, so the cheapest one on this list and also one of the best in terms of price to performance. So prices between the three are actually quite similar, and at the end it really comes down to your needs and budget. My personal favorite is the one with the RX 6700 XT, which is the most expensive one, but also the one that is going to give you more VRAM and better performance for the price. Now, if you don't want to go with AMD, I would recommend you going with the 3060 Ti, since it's going to give you better performance than the 4060 at a cheaper price. So like I said before, I would strongly recommend avoiding the 4060 unless you really care about power efficiency or frame generation. Also, if you're a content creator, the 3060 Ti is going to be a great option. However, if you're a creator, I do recommend you upgrading to 32 gigs of RAM as soon as possible. If you have any questions, let me know down below in the comment section and I will try to reply as fast as possible. And if you want a Prebuilt PC at this price point, because maybe you don't want to build it yourself and it's totally understandable, I recommend you watching my video about the best Prebuilt PCs on a discount right now. I will be uploading a ton of Prebuilt PC videos in the next couple days because there are new deals coming, so I highly recommend you waiting for those videos. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.